He's suggesting that the lawsuit against Shannon Sharpe might not be what it seems, and the details. Absolutely jaw-dropping. Just days ago, Shannon Sharpe was hit with a lawsuit by a woman named Gabrielle Zuniga. She's accusing him of some extremely serious actions, claims of repeated assault. But here's the twist, Dave Chappelle isn't buying it. According to him, this woman isn't acting alone. He believes she's being backed by powerful forces working behind the scenes. Why? To silence Shannon Sharpe and shut down Club Shay Shay for good. Now, if you've been keeping up, you know Shannon's been calling out major celebrities on his podcast, telling uncomfortable truths, naming names. And apparently, someone's had enough. But it gets even messier, because rumors are swirling that Shannon Sharpe might not be so innocent either. Allegedly, he's been gathering secrets, dirt on the celebrities who sit down with him. And the accusations don't stop there. Word is, he's been using that dirt as leverage. Blackmail, control, manipulation. People are talking, and whispers are turning into headlines. Could this really be the end of Club Shay Shay? Now, with Dave Chappelle stepping into the spotlight, speaking up and pointing fingers, you just know things are about to explode. And here's the real question. Who exactly is Shannon Sharpe allegedly blackmailing? Because the names being tossed, around, are huge. We're talking about A-list celebrities, the kind who would do anything to keep their skeletons hidden. And while Dave might be known for jokes, one thing's certain when it comes to speaking the truth. He doesn't hold back.
I also take full responsibility for any and everything that I've done in business, good or bad. My frustration with Cat Williams comes from, you keep pointing Hollywood. Hollywood this, the white man, this, and this. When do you take responsibility for your actions? You had the shot.
Cat was in that position.
You were the guy. You were set up to be the star. You didn't show up to work. You off promo shoots. You off your promo trips that they had set up for you. You became a risk to the studios, which is why the studio stopped.
Why was he a risk?
He chose to take responsibility for what you chose and say, you know what, I gotta fix me. And I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna stand up for comedy. So
let's rewind for a moment. Back when Club Shay Shay first started making waves, Dave Chappelle had a word of caution for Shannon Sharpe. Be careful when you start playing with the big dogs. Interviewing celebrities, that's one thing, but digging into their personal lives too deeply, that's when real trouble starts knocking. And when Cat Williams came on the show last year and dropped his bombshells, everything changed. Things got heated fast, and Dave didn't mince words. He called it out directly. This is part of the game. He goes after the brothers, but you don't see him calling out the white boys. None of them are being treated like this. Then Dave added something else. Cat's one of the most gifted artists in the game, so why are you painting such ugly pictures of us? It wasn't just commentary, it was a direct challenge. And Cat Williams, he didn't hold back either. He made it crystal clear. Hurt people, but I'm someone who's been hurt, and I've never tried to hurt others. According to Cat, Shannon's behavior tells a different story. He claims Shannon regularly targets and tears down fellow black comedians. He even said, if I told my full story, it would break your heart. I lost everything, and I kept it all to myself. And now Shannon's out here acting like some kind of truth preacher. Cat had enough. Tell me, he asked, what part of the game involves messing with another man's livelihood? Since when did it become okay to publicly shame your own? The tension, you could feel it through the screen. And to be fair, you can start to understand why so many celebrities are now clashing with Shannon. It's one thing when fans speculate, or when online gossip runs wild, but when a celebrity sits across from another and starts throwing names around, that's not just uncomfortable, that's betrayal. Where's the loyalty? That's the question that started echoing across the industry. And let's not forget the episode that started it all. That now infamous Club Shay Shay interview with Cat Williams, the one that broke the internet and flipped us 80 million views. It became one of the biggest podcast moments on the internet. But with all that attention came backlash. A wave of exposes followed, and some powerful names. In the industry, they were not happy. Cat Williams didn't just speak his mind, he called people out, directly. Some critics said he sounded bitter, suggesting his career setbacks were fueling the shots he fired. They claimed it wasn't truth-telling, just jealousy disguised as criticism. True or not, Cat's first major target was a big one, Cedric the Entertainer. He didn't hold back. He accused Cedric of joke theft, claiming he'd stolen material and passed it off as his own. Then Cat took it even further. He called Cedric a fraud, said he relied on ghostwriters, or worse, just lifted jokes from other comedians entirely. Naturally, Cedric wasn't going to let that slide. He fired back almost immediately, posting to Instagram and calling Cat's claims revisionist history. Cedric wasn't about to entertain the drama. He stood firm. Whatever Cat thinks, he said, my career can't be reduced to one joke, he claims as his. And then Cedric made a point to remind everyone of exactly who he is. Over 40 films to his name, successful comedy specials, major brand partnerships. A resume that speaks for itself. He even mentioned helping Cat early in his carear. I put people on, including Kat, back at the Gibson Amphitheater. Then came the closer. Mature.com. But firm, all that tough talk, it's corny. I'm a grown man and this won't play out how you think. You do you. I've got mine over here. But Cedric wasn't the only one who had something to say. Kevin Hart also jumped into the mix, and he didn't hold back either. Taking to social media, he clapped back hard, calling Kat a clown who belongs in a circus. And honestly, it felt like a long time coming. Kevin had plenty of reasons to respond, after all. Kat had already taken shots at him in the past, accusing him of being completely fake. According to Kat, Kevin's polished picture-perfect public image was just that, an image. Smoke and mirrors. A performance, not the real Kevin Hart. But let's be honest, Kat going after Kevin? It wasn't exactly to have history, and it's been rocky for years. The tension between Kat Williams and Kevin Hart has been simmering ever since. Kat began calling out the industry for allegedly blackballing him. He claimed he was pushed out because he spoke the truth and refused to play by Hollywood's rules. Naturally, that didn't sit well with Kevin. So he showed up on The Breakfast Club and fired back. Kevin didn't deny the fallout, but he said it wasn't about Kat being too real. It was about Kat's behavior. According to Kevin, Kat got iced out because he was difficult to work with, always causing drama, always bringing chaos. So yeah, when Kat went off on Kevin again during that Club Shay Shay interview, a lot of people saw it as payback. A response to the shots Kevin had already taken, but Kevin didn't flinch. Not for a second. He clapped back hard again, calling Kat a clown and saying he belonged in a circus. The back and forth, it was wild, but here's where things really got messy. After that episode aired, the backlash didn't just hit Kat, it hit Shannon Sharpe too. Social media lit up. Critics came at both men from all directions. Even rapper Mahai jumped in, accusing Shannon of being anti-black. He pointed out something many had already been noticing. Shannon Sharpe gets loud when he's criticizing other black people, but seems noticeably quiet when white celebrities are involved. That interview with Kat had already raised eyebrows. But then, boom, Monique entered the chat. And that's when the fire really started. Shannon was already on thin ice. But once Monique started dropping names like Oprah and Tyler Perry like it was nothing, people started asking the big question, is Shannon on a mission to take down black icons? And Monique, she wasn't pulling any punches, just like Kat. She called out the biggest names in the game, Oprah, Tyler Perry, Kevin Hart. Nope, one was off limits. And let's be clear, Monique didn't just suddenly bring this up. She's been carrying this pain for years. She said she was blackballed by Oprah and Tyler after refusing to do unpaid press for Precious. She fulfilled her contract, but the moment she declined to do extra promo for free, allegedly, everything changed. And here's the thing, when Hollywood turns on you, it's not just a career bump, it's a full-scale shutdown. The calls stop, the offers vanish, and the momentum you've built can collapse overnight. Monique's story wasn't just drama, it was a warning. Because once industry giants like Oprah and Tyler Perry turn their backs on you, Hollywood follows, and that's exactly what she says happened. They shut the door, and the rest of the industry followed like dominoes.
Well, Club Shay Shay is getting messier and messier. It's almost like Wendy Williams didn't go anywhere, she just got a wait set. And so Monique was on. Every time I see Monique these days, she's on doing some greasy-ass video with her and her daddy complaining about something. Or working out. I don't know nobody that work out that much and gain weight unless every crunch you do has got Captain in front of it. But apparently she goes on Club Shay Shay and tells the story about how she came on my radio show and I wasn't there at the time. And my co-host Jasmine Sanders played a game that we played all the time with everybody called Would You Rather. She apparently was so offended by that.
Nobody wanted to get caught in the crossfire. People were scared not just to support Monique publicly, but even to stand next to her, working with her. That was out of the question. But according to Monique, there was one person who claimed to have her back during all the chaos. Kevin Hart. She says Kevin really stepped up at first. He told her she wasn't alone, said he had her back, even called himself her ride or die. At a time when she was already blackballed, treated like an outsider, Kevin made her feel like someone was still in her corner. And Monique believed him. He seemed genuine, like one of the few people in Hollywood who wasn't afraid to stand beside her. But then, everything changed. Boom. Kevin switched up fast. After all those promises, after calling himself loyal, he ghosted her completely, like she didn't exist. And what stung the most, according to Monique, he didn't even have the courage to cut ties himself. He had other people deliver the message for him. No explanation, no conversation. Cold. And she didn't stop there. Monique went on to claim that she has audio receipts, recordings of Kevin allegedly throwing her under the bus, and even begging Tyler Perry for approval just to protect his own brand. So, yeah, right now, Shannon Sharpe's podcast. Not exactly popular among Hollywood's elite. Even DL Hughley chimed in, he took a shot at Shannon, accusing him of being messy, letting guests come on and tell unverified, potentially harmful stories about other celebrities. But if you think that's wild, hold up, because the streets are talking, and the rumors are getting louder. Word is, Shannon Sharpe has allegedly been using his podcast as a tool for blackmail. Here's the claim. He records the interviews, then edits out the most explosive parts, keeps the unreleased footage in the vault and later uses it as leverage behind the scenes. Now look, it's hard to say what's true and what's not, but if these rumors are even partially real, it might explain why some powerful people are allegedly working overtime to bring Shannon Sharpe down. And that lawsuit, the timing feels just a little too perfect to ignore.
Hey, Kev, you didn't say nothing to Cat Williams when he did a 3-hour interview talking slow yesterday. You didn't put a shot clock on him.
Do you entertain the circus or do you watch it, Perk? Which one do you do? What do you do? You watch it. You go, man, look at that lion riding the bike. That's what you say.
Thirdly, you call yourself coming at me, right? You want to be aggressive with me, right? Listen, you showed poise, respect, wherewithal, resolve, compassion, reverence for Skip Bayless. Why are you so aggressive anytime somebody black say something? The man said, put your glasses on, and you put your glasses back on. Don't play with me. Put your glasses back on, Shannon.
The timing couldn't have been more intense. Just one day, before news broke that Shannon Sharpe was about to close a massive $100 million deal for his Club Shay Shay podcast, everything unraveled. This came right after his contract with Colin Cowherd's The Volume Network ended. So, if someone wanted to take him down, this was the perfect moment to strike. Even Shannon's own lawyer raised an eyebrow. In a public statement, he said, she knew Mr. Sharpe was about to sign a lucrative deal, and she took full advantage of it. Then he dropped the line that made headlines. This is a textbook case of blackmail. He claimed the entire lawsuit was about one thing, pressure and leverage. But now, let's dig into the disturbing claims. The woman using the alias Jane Doe accused Shannon of deeply troubling behavior. She says he manipulated her, controlled her, and that between October 2024 and January 2025, things got physical against her will. She says she cried, she begged him to stop, but he didn't listen. Even more disturbing, she claims she was just 19 when the relationship began. Shannon was 54. That age gap alone had people talking. According to Jane Doe, Shannon dismissed the concern. He told her age was just a number. But it didn't stop there. She also accused him of secretly recording their private moments without her consent. He allegedly told her it was just for personal use. But according to her, those videos weren't kept private. She claims he shared them with his friends multiple times. If any of this is true, it's beyond serious. And when you factor in the $100 million contract hanging in the balance, you can see why people started calling this situation suspicious, because then came the twist. Jane Doe's lawyer, Tony Busby, dropped a bombshell. He claimed Shannon Sharpe and his legal team offered her $10 million to stay silent and walk away. And here's the kicker. Shannon's own lawyer confirmed the offer was real. So now, everyone's asking, was this hush money, or just a desperate attempt to protect his reputation? Because one thing's clear, either Shannon knew what was coming, or he was hiding something he really didn't want made public, and the plot thickens. Jane Doe, who has since been identified as Gabrielle Zuniga, is being represented by none other than Tony Busby. Yes, that Tony Busby. Back in February, he said his office tried to set up a quiet meeting with Shannon. Over 6 weeks of mediation followed, and during that time, Shannon allegedly put a $10 million offer on the table, but Zuniga refused it and chose to go public with her claims. Busby didn't hold back. He said, if this case had no merit, why offer $10 million to make it go away? Now, it's turned into a war. He says Shannon's team is trying to destroy Zuniga's reputation, discredit her, even dox her. But Busby made one thing clear: we will not be intimidated. In Shannon's camp, they fired back hard. They released a statement, and then came the leaked texts. In one message, Zuniga allegedly wrote, I want you to put a dog collar around my neck and choke me, and that's just the beginning. The internet exploded. Other texts allegedly showed her asking for money, requesting a baby, and even saying things like, $20,000 for each cheek, but only if you put that baby gravy in me. You're my daddy, I want you to put a big baby in me. It spiraled fast. Even people who had been following the case closely said, okay, that's enough. Right after the leak, Shannon's legal team made a statement. They called the entire lawsuit a greedy attempt to shake him down for millions. They accused Zuniga of twisting a private, consensual relationship into something dark and false. They claimed the videos she showed were edited to create a false narrative that what happened was all roleplay, fantasy, between two consenting adults. Shannon, they said, completely denies all allegations of coercion or assault. And they made it clear he's ready to fight in court. No settlement, no backing down. But Tony Busby wasn't done. He responded by saying those texts Shannon's team leaked. Old Dot from before the alleged incident even happened, he said. This is just a distraction to shift focus away from the real accusations. Then he dropped his own set of texts. In one, Zuniga allegedly wrote, I cried when you left. I begged you to use protection, and you didn't listen. Then came the message that hit hardest. I don't care what our history is. No means no. Shannon. According to Busby, she felt so unsafe she fled Nevada completely and cut all ties. And just when it couldn't get more intense, it did. Busby released audio recordings that left listeners stunned. In one clip, Shannon allegedly threatened to choke her. In another, he's heard making disturbing remarks about a big black man choking a small white woman. Busby called it what it was. Not playful, not fantasy, but disturbing, aggressive, and dangerous. He said these recordings showed who Shannon really was behind closed doors and why Gabrielle Zuniga ran at this point. The entire situation feels like a train wreck in slow motion, and when you bring Dave Chappelle's comments into the mix, his claim that this entire thing might be a setup to destroy Shannon Sharpe, it starts to make sense. If Shannon was collecting dirt behind the scenes, blackmailing outsters, then locking in a $100 million deal could have made him too powerful to stop. And for some people, that's the last thing they wanted. So yeah, this isn't just celebrity drama, this is war behind the scenes. Lawsuits, leaked texts, secret recordings, and a podcast under fire from every direction. But now it's your turn. Do you believe Dave Chappelle's claim that this is all part of a takedown mission, or is there something even deeper going on? Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't miss what's coming next.